quick disclaimer before the video starts today. First off, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the road to trials. I just wanted to pop in now before the video starts and say, you know, I don't give a fuck if you watch till the end or not, but if you were interested in watching till the end, at the end I'm going to basically be here and I'm going to be talking about some of the comments that I made in yesterday's video, which was like a longer process, or sorry, a longer video with less cuts, and it was just a conversation I was having, and I wanted to make sure I like touched on some of those things because there were some like miscommunications there. So anyways, here's the video. Welcome back to the vlog. Oh, it's day 59. Just rolling out a little bit, stretching, getting a sweat. Balancing. Just another day in paradise. Love this new mic system. It's legit. So we're about to get practice in today. Nothing crazy. Is that real? Spring, 21st year. Nice. Did you do it?
Yeah. It's when Miyamoto Musashi got his name.
Ryan tattooed his own leg, so he can't train. Imagine just a staff. Is that Haley? Is that was the spot, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, it's blue. Is that in the camera? It's nice.
Come on. Sometimes I don't believe you. You say, yeah, 6 minutes.
Is that what you're gonna do?
This does not feel like that.
Eli's here. Yesterday.
You did that me and Jared. You didn't even turn the timer on. You were like, oh, my bad.
Happens. Yeah, so we got a new timer, but people get lazy, so Josh is probably gonna hide it from basically from Eli. Yeah. Do you look also? I look too. I kind of stopped. This might enforce a bad habit, dude. Because I stopped looking at the clock because we didn't have one, but I used to look at the clock a lot. Cool. What happened to it? It's a microphone. Yeah, we're fancy now. So I can commentate the video. Talking to them. But yeah. Okay. All right, practice time. We just did we just got done with our like regular practice, and that shit just wasn't. I didn't even record it. It didn't feel like something I wanted to post. Just the games were like, you know, just didn't seem like they'd be interesting to watch. So I'm just gonna. These are all rounds, so enjoy these.
okay. I thought it was perfect.
Damn it, Kyle. That sucked. How did you think our round went?
Oh man, that was a tough run. That was
Why?
because didn't stop. I guess I could have done better in my performance. So there was a few times where I caught myself trying to, like, I almost gave up or gave up something I knew I shouldn't have out of fatigue.
I felt like out of character, uncharacteristically, you like let me move you around in our wrestling exchanges more than you usually do. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like I was able to like push you. feel like more than I used to, or like usually do. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Maybe that's. I was also working on it with Will, but
Yeah.
I felt like when I got you, you weren't like. Maybe you weren't moving me around as much, so I felt like I had more room to like move around you or something.
Yeah, and you felt like you were being much more disciplined with keeping your inside, trying to maintain inside position, and I wasn't as disciplined as I usually am with my elbow positioning. I usually try to keep my elbows in as much as possible and my hands down, and I found myself reaching, which was opening up that space for you to put your hands in there.
Probably what it was.
You send me some fucking picture of some chick, man. Check Instagram too.
Yeah, but I also felt like you didn't give up and like just turtle up the whole time. Like when you were losing, you didn't like go to rest. Like we kept moving through positions a lot. I felt like. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I was trying to be more mentally like present with my intention of like continuing to move. So whenever I felt that urge, it happened a few times. I felt it almost take over and try
To like.
yeah, like I had to really impose my will in order to make myself continue to move. And I plan on in the next month and continuing on to be more intentional about just keep my focus on. If I feel that feeling again, just continuing to go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel like you got to build that.
Yeah, it's that choice that you got to make there.
So yeah.
And I've
Trying to
been
make
notoriously bad about making that choice, man.
At least you're like aware and you're working towards it. don't care what y'all say. That's the hardest round in the gym. All the other guys are just pussies. How come we didn't get around in? How come we didn't get around in today? Was I dodging you?
R&R, yeah.
I was dodging you.
I don't know, dude. That was a pretty good round.
Yeah, y'all had a good round. I wish I had filmed y'all's round.
I know, it was true survival. I'm getting over bronchitis. So
Ah,
I'm taking steroids.
so you weren't even full.
No, exactly. I'm not even at max potential.
He's not even at max potential.
You'll have to bring it back.
I'm like training with weights on.
Yeah.
You're doing ADCC.
I feel like you make me work harder than I'm trying to work.
Yeah, that's why I said to an extent.
Okay, I was gonna say.
But you want that.
I don't want to have to.
Well, yeah.
I'd like our rounds to just be easy and I take you down and you lay down.
Yeah, but I feel like you don't want that.
You don't match his energy? Connor said he matches energy. Yeah, and I said, I feel like he makes me work. All right, so just a couple rounds tonight. I'll see y'all at the crib for a recap. All right, so there's practice. I just wanted to real quick before the video ends, I just wanted to touch on some of the stuff that was talked about yesterday in the video. Before practice, Philip and I were just talking about warming up and some of the thought processes behind it. And Josh had some comments on what we were talking about, so I just wanted to clear those up because one, I don't want to misrepresent the gym. I will say though, I guess not in my defense, but Josh sent me some notes on what we were talking about, and a lot of that was just off the cuff. We were just having conversation, almost like a little bit of Gallo venting, kind of like Gallo humor. We're in the shit every day. We're stressing our bodies and our minds to try to get better, and so there is some thought of releasing some steam through just kind of bitching and complaining about what we're doing. And so I think the tone of the video maybe didn't match the tone of just Philip and I just talking, but regardless, I just want to clear up some of the stuff. So let's see here. In regards to warming up or injury and warm-ups, I think that I said that a couple things that maybe just weren't I don't know how to say it. Hang on. So I said some things. So specifically with warm-ups, we were just commenting on the lack of warming up at our gym, and that's kind of it's a bit disingenuous because we do warm up with a hand fighting round, and as much as there is I think I can speak for Josh in this part, there is frustration with the old model of jiu-jitsu that seems prevalent in the sport. And so when I mentioned that it almost feels like we don't warm up out of spite, as much as there might be a frustration, like I was saying, around the old system and the warm-up structure that seemed like it was just going through the motions, we do a warm-up with our first round, usually with hand fighting. We don't do anything else. And so I just want to make sure I stand behind my comments of just feeling like I would like a longer, more drawn out, slower warm up to build into our practices. So I'll get there early, 30 minutes before. Some of it's to set up the camera, and then also just to like jog around, get my heart rate up, stretch, and start moving my body in ways that we're going to be using them in most of our practices. Not everybody does that, and we don't set that block aside. But that's because of Josh's like research on warm-ups, and I can actually read you what that is, so that it's like clear. So this is from Josh. Specifically, the evidence for a relationship between injury rate and warm-up is mixed. Further, the evidence that does support a warm-up recommends specific warm-ups that include movements that resemble the demands the body will face. So I made a comment about Eli getting injured, and I was saying that it's like he didn't warm up before that, and I can see how that, the whole video with the context together kind of was a little crazy, I think. Like when I watched it back, I was like, oh yeah, that does seem bad. Like it seems like I'm saying we don't warm up and we don't give a fuck, and it's out of spite, and that's why Eli got hurt. And I didn't mean for that to be the message that came across, but when Josh sent me this, I looked back at it and I was like, oh yeah, he's right. It kind of does paint everything in a bad light. So he says Eli's injury, because Eli got injured recently, resulted from a fall, which his shoulder received the load of both his and my body. And then he goes on to say that injuries are an inherent part of a contact sport like grappling because of the tendency to receive high levels of force on the joints of the body. He says, I say all this because the things that I was saying in the video about like warm-ups and injuries occurring because we don't warm up isn't representative of the injury rate at our gym. And it could dissuade people from our gym because it is sort of like misinformation of what we're doing. And I agree with him, just so we're like clear. Some of it like is, there's like facts of like, Josh is very pragmatic and literal and like well thought out in everything he does. And so an off the cuff conversation that I put on camera and he watches, he's like, dude, why are you saying that everybody's getting hurt and we don't warm up when that's not true? And in my mind, it's like, it's almost like in the moment I'm feeling this one thing and we're kind of like, it feels more playful than literal, but without trying to like dodge the fact that I just want to make sure we're clear. Like, I don't want to dissuade anyone from thinking that we're not like legitimately warming up or like thinking into all of the processes that we're doing. And I just wanted to clear that up here. I think, is that all? There might be. And then finally, just the idea, like, so this is the only place, I don't know that I have pushback on this comment, but I do want to just like make sure I have my thoughts out there on this. So Josh just he just told me like, he doesn't know I'm, I told him that I was going to address it, but we didn't actually talk about these things, and so I don't want you to think like I have a script of what I'm supposed to say. But he said that he's also not doing anything in practice out of spite, which, yes, true. He says everything that we do is geared towards what he thinks is optimal for skill development, and that is true, and I know that's where Josh comes from. The only pushback I have is because there is a frustration with, like I said this a few minutes ago, like there is a general consensus or feeling that what Josh is saying here is true. We're trying to do everything optimal for skill development. And so that when you go to a gym that does a lot of extra fluffy bullshit or like does a bunch of slow drilling that doesn't show real improvement and is sort of people I think are getting good in spite of drilling. It's just not optimal. That gives me a sense of like frustration of like, I can't believe there's people out here doing this, or that I have to sit through this. If I wanted to go to any other gym that wasn't like ecological or wasn't high level, I would have to sit through like shrimp lines and fucking hip folders, and then we do like, moving your partner up and down the mat with butterfly, like those kind of warm-ups that take up class time. And not every gym does this, but a lot of gyms use that. I used to be a yoga instructor. I would spend 5 minutes at the beginning of the class just doing breathing warm-ups, and then like 10 minutes at the end of the class laying on your back flat in sort of this meditative state. One, because it had some positive benefits, but more often than not, it depended on how much I sequenced for that day. If I came up with enough stuff that I thought the class would be, it was like an hour class. If I came up with enough themes that I thought the class would go for 50 minutes full on active, then I wouldn't spend as much time in the beginning and the end in like a warm up and a cool down. But on those days where I was struggling to fill time, we might have a 30-minute sequence that I stretch, and I stretch that class out for 30 minutes on the warm up and the cool down. And I think that happens in jiu-jitsu gyms too. You come in, not every day you're thinking of a curriculum, or you're not feeling good, or you're not inspired. And so you as a coach come in and you're like, all right, we're going to do a little bit of a longer warm up today. And then you kill a bit of time, and then you do a little less technique, and you do a little more free rolls. Like, and I love free rolls, but I'm saying it happens. It gets used as a filler. And so there's some of that. When I say spite, that's just a harsh way of saying like, we all know that shit happens and we're not going to do that. So fuck that. And I was using that to build on my point of us not doing any pre-class warm-ups. We just do like a warm-up round and then get into it, which also, for me personally, like, I guess this is also important to say, not everybody has this problem. I have a problem with needing to feel mentally like I'm warmed up. And I can't just flip the switch. I have to like get my head into space where like I'm moving for a goal, and then I'm talking to myself so that by the time practice comes around, I'm warm, but also my body's woken up, and mentally I've woken up to the fact that I'm gonna have to work my ass off. And so if anything, even if warm-up's like placebo, it's a thing that mentally I like to do more of personally. And that's probably like a long fucking, I'm getting pruny in the bath. But I just want to make sure everything was cleared up, because I don't want to misspeak for other people, especially when they're not around. And it's just important for me not to like fucking post these videos up and then just say some wild off the wall shit because I'm feeling like it, which I have that streak in me also. And I respect Josh, and I respect the gym, and so that's that. Thank you for watching. I don't know if you have any thoughts or comments or anything. Always up to listen to them. I'm almost like 2 weeks out from Brazil, so we'll see. Fucking who knows how that shit's gonna go. But yeah, you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.